Hey all, my name is Izzy Alexander. I'm the Director of Social Media for the Fisher Students in Action Club. Today I'm going to be sharing an example of a project that you guys can do social distancing. I don't know if you guys know John Krasinski, who was on The Office. He's also Jack Ryan. He has started this program called Some Good News, where he hosts this weekly show and he only tells good news stories. Of course, we are not John Krasinski and we don't have his links and connections, but we can do much the same thing. I think if your students wanted to create good news only videos, that would be a super great way to spread service to their communities. So for an example, I'll show you, there's a couple different ways this can go structurally. We can have kids share good news stories either from a national perspective or from a personal perspective. I'll do an example of both of those. That way they can have some element of choice in what they're choosing to do their service on. But you can have an entire class do the same concept and no two of them will have the same exact story. So it's very interesting, very unique, and a really great way to get kids involved in their community, as well as with sharing good stories. For the national good news story, I'll do an example. For this one, I just looked up good news on the internet. There's a couple of different sites that pop up. There's Good News Network. You can always go to John Krasinski, Some Good News. I'm using MSN, which is Microsoft News right now. The article is from the Associated Press, and it's entitled Sidewalk Notes Bring Smiles to Hospital Staff During Virus. Your kids can sum up the article. They can read a section of it if they'd like. If they want to, they can send you the article, and if you're technologically minded when you're making the video with all of the kids together, you can put in some pictures from the article. If not, it's totally fine. So I'll read a couple of these. I'll do a summary of this article. Since the sidewalk notes that an anonymous messenger left in New Orleans, they are left outside of a hospital, so encouraging staff workers that what they're doing is appreciated. So this one says, if you're leaving, thank you, rest well. A little further along, you are extraordinary. If you're just arriving, thank you for what you're about to do. And this is a really good way to do service because the hospital workers have been under a lot of strain recently, and kudos to the person that did this. They're really amazing. So as far as a personal example goes, I'll share mine. Friends and I have been able to keep in touch digitally. I had a Zoom meeting with some of my friends today, as well as I've been able to do a book exchange with one of my friends who has been able to lend me a book of hers that I wanted to read, and then I was able to give it back to her while we were staying 6 feet apart. And we'll be able to talk about the book after she's finished reading it as well. So it'll be like a book club of sorts, social distancing wise. So that's a good news story from my end, is that I'm still able to keep reading and keep connecting with my friends. Again, these are totally adaptable. Your kids can do them really easily. If you want to give a super personal example, like I'm still healthy and that's good news, then that's great. If you wanted to give an example of something that you did, like if you sidewalk chalk your neighborhood and made somebody else feel good, or you're running deliveries, anything like that is absolutely fair game for a personal good news story. National good news story, anything that you find on the internet. Of course, I'll be providing some links to teachers of some examples that I've found. This is Izzy Alexander, Director of Social Media for Fisher Students in Action. I monitor all the social media, so if you have a question about this video, please feel free to reach out and let me know, either in the comments or on Twitter or on Instagram or through email, whatever way you find to contact me. Let me know if you have any questions. Wish you the best of luck.